You can't cross the sea merely by standing and staring at the water. This is a quote by Rabindranath Tagore, so we'll be going deeper into this. So firstly, I'll be using a fitness analogy. This is just to arrive at a point. So you say, well, not you particularly, but let's say anyone says that I want to be fitter. And he or she goes to a fitness coach or an expert in this department. So the coach says, okay, come to the gym 5 days a week, but you don't show up. He puts you on a diet, but one look at that delicious calorie dense serving of junk food and the tongue wins and you fail. Then, of course, like most people, you have paid for an annual membership at the gym and you went for 3 days out of the 365. Gym owners know this. They know most won't show up within a week or two, so they can sell more memberships now. I don't think this is unethical. You're just the one who doesn't stick to your commitment. And now you're back to the whining stage. You're naturally frustrated because you had the desire of having a fitter body, but you couldn't do it. You couldn't do what is needed for it. Now, this was just an analogy, but let's look at this in the spiritual context. People will say, I want liberation, enlightenment. Big words, by the way. So the awakened one says, okay, here, this is the way. Start with this one method. He wants to test you out first, actually. So he gives you a practice, or maybe he just asks you to meditate for like 10 minutes a day. Let's try that. But then after a few days, the snooze button takes priority over spiritual growth. The next easy option is to give it up entirely. Some wound up, convoluted philosophical justification you will have to come up with. It can be complex or simple, depending upon how twisted up in here you are. Or you may be a little simple, so you'll come up with the usual. Option A, I don't have the time. Option B is too difficult. Option C, I have too many things on my plate right now. Or the most popular one, drum roll for this. Okay, maybe not. But option D, I will do it tomorrow. I'm sorry, but whichever option you picked, your answer is wrong. So now if this becomes a pattern and you fail too many times, you will eventually decide to drop it. The work, that is, not the desire for the goal. And this results in a kind of dissatisfaction with one's own self. Because you can only deceive yourself on the surface level. But there is an awareness deep inside of you which knows. People who are like this will always complain, and they will always attract people of a similar mindset. I assure you, you will always find your kind. So the unsatisfied, discontent, unfulfilled kind of people, you will find plenty. There has to come a point where you get sick and tired of your own complaining and whining. And that is when you really are ready to make a change. And just to clarify, I do not have anything against failing. Failing at doing something is not the problem. The fact that you're failing means you're attempting to do something you have never done. This itself is a big step to begin with. You have the courage to decide or to change something in your life or to set out on a path, be it the spiritual path, the entrepreneurial path, fitness, anything. Most people don't even entertain the thought. They won't even take a step outside of their comfort zone. But when and if you do set out on a path, you will be met with challenges sooner or later. And in fact, the challenges never stop. They keep getting harder. Ask anyone. Ask the best athlete. Ask the best entrepreneurs. Challenges are part of the game. And hence, failing is inevitable. You will fail. Failure is a more valuable teacher than success. So, failing is not the issue. The issue is quitting at the first sign of failure. The issue is an attitude of expecting everything to run smoothly. Were you expecting that of the spiritual path as well? The waters get rough the deeper you go. And if you're afraid of your ship breaking and sinking, it's better you stay anchored at the port. You are secure there at one spot. This is the only way to guarantee not failing. So now, be happy with your choice of staying put, staying safe. Well, we know that won't happen. People fall for the seemingly more comfortable option all the time. They choose it each time, thinking it will make them happy, but it doesn't work out. And you see that spark extinguish from their eyes. Stagnant waters breeds diseases. So, in time, all the negative experiences of frustrations and all of that will come as a symptom, inevitably so. No one chooses this. Everyone wants to be happy, everyone wants to be fulfilled. But it's the choices that you make which leads you to either fulfillment or the opposite. So, what to do? See, there is something in you which will not let you rest unless you're constantly pushing your boundaries and limits. Just as a ship is made for adventure and to explore the seas, human life is made to explore more life. The more life you experience, more life you become, both inner and outer exploration. Only difference between the two is that if you tend to lean towards inner exploration, you tend to be more spiritual. But that's a different tangent. Above all, don't lie to yourself. Now that we are beginning to understand the pattern, we can break them. But this is basic stuff, and if it's making sense to you so far, we will proceed with some real life examples to understand more aspects about this. People know about me through friends and family, and now more through this channel. Some people I'm talking about, not all, but some people who ask me for advice on spiritual growth or fitness or whatever else. They tell me all about their issues and challenges. Now, when I answer them and tell them what the real issue is, you should see the defense mechanisms just flaring up. They get super offended. Now, see, I'm a simple guy. You come to me and ask me for advice, I will genuinely give you my sincerest answer. I'm the friend who will take you aside in a social gathering and tell you you have something stuck in between your teeth. But somehow most people do not appreciate this. And I am beginning to understand that the defensive walls people put up is actually a knee jerk reaction of protecting themselves. And this is a defense of their comfort zone. And if anyone comes tearing down these walls, they attack. But in a spiritual context, these walls, which you think keeps you safe, also imprisons you. On one end, it protects you, your personality, your likes and dislikes. But in another way, it imprisons you as well. So your need for a sense of security makes you insecure. This insecurity inhibits you to go and step outside of these walls of defense. I hope you're with me so far. So after I went through a few of these experiences, I realized such people don't want to be helped. They don't want to change. They took the toxic approach to self-love, wherein they think they are perfect the way they are, and there is nothing they have to heal or improve or put effort into. And I don't wish anyone to suffer. But this is the way life works. Such people will suffer because they have the desire for something. They want spiritual realizations, financial success, a good relationship. But they don't want to budge an inch. They refuse to see the need to evolve. They don't have the commitment nor the resolve to do what is needed to fulfill that desire. So naturally, if they're not getting what they want, they become miserable. So I used to get surprised when I called them out on this and they got offended. Then I realized most people want bullshit mixed with solace. But I cannot and will not do that kind of a disservice to people. But if they're not willing, I will not waste my time and energy on them, even if they're miserable. They're choosing not to come out of it, and you have to respect that. You have to respect their freedom to stay stuck in the situation they're unfulfilled in. You can only hope that they will make that decision one day. And well, help is always, always available to those who want it. So, considering all that I've said so far, and the reason I use fitness analogies is because you can't fool yourself with delusions when it comes to pursuing something physical. If your goal is to lose weight, the weighing scale won't lie. If you lift 100 kgs, the 100 kgs will remain true always. It may feel lighter only when you are stronger. The weight never changes though. So I encourage everyone to have some way they can apply themselves to the physical reality in the physical realm so as to get a feedback from this reality without room for delusions, which is very common in spiritual people. So let's go back to the analogy. The difference between a fit person and a not so fit person is that time of 30 minutes they commit to do yoga every day or to work out for an hour. Choose whatever. But let it be something which is a daily investment in your overall well being. I spend an hour max in the gym. You do that on repeat 4 to 5 days a week, and in a few years, the difference starts to become evident. And over the course of a decade, it manifests itself in a much more powerful way. Your effort cannot be denied anymore. Everyone wants this reward. Same with the process of self discovery. You have to be persistent and consistent. You require a certain level of mastery over the body first, then the mind, then the subtler aspects will come into your awareness. That's when you're ready to see and know something incredible about this existence. But it has a price. You have to pay the price either way, whether you choose to do it or not. You reap what you sow, and if you do not sow anything, well, you can imagine your condition when harvest season comes. Time will anyways go by. It won't ask for your permission. It won't listen to your excuses. It will always take away. So now, the end result is the same for everyone. All the pieces on the chessboard, the queen, the king, the pawn, all go back in the same box once the game is over. The question is, can something be made of this life in between these 2 points? Of a beginning and a seemingly obvious end. The in-between, I guess, is where the play happens. Can something be extracted beyond this? Can something be carried across? These are questions I will leave you with. But please don't stall taking the first step by just pondering over these questions. You will not get any answers that way. Get moving is my suggestion. Take a step for your own growth. It's harder when you start this process, and it's hard to break old patterns. But it will be worth it. And it gets easier with momentum. So much so that after a certain critical threshold, your inner growth becomes unstoppable. Take care and see you in the next one.